Hello guys, welcome to Autolatest Cars. Today we are reviewing one of the most important roadsters and coupe cabrio cars in the world. Of course, is the most, not one of the most, because it's the new Mazda MX-5 RF generation 9, but this one is called ND3. First of all, we took this car from our dealer partner, which is called Rădăcini Motors in Bucharest, Romania. This is called or Ariane Motors. This car is one of the best normal new cars that we have tested this year in 2025. First of all, when we are talking about the new ND3 generation, we have to talk about the fact that this car is actually loved, hate, and for the MX-5 community or Miata community, this car is actually hated because in Europe it has only one engine. The engine is called 1.5 Skyactiv-G 132. That means it's an engine with 132 horsepower. The engine code is P5, an engine that is not sold on US market or Canadian market, because there you receive the older one, 2.0 Skyactiv-G with 186 horsepower and the manual gearbox, and of course the automatic gearbox. On European market we don't have such an engine anymore, because in EU we have some strict rules which are bull from my point of view, because Mazda was forced to actually equip this engine with an entry level this car with an entry level engine that it's okay. Actually, I drove this car for over 600 kilometers and it's okay. First of all, you have also the same antenna, the old antenna, the classical antenna on this one. The color is much better, is much more improved compared with the other previous generation of MX-5 or the previous generation. The tailpipe are combined together on the right side. The cars that the MX-5 that was built till 2014 had the separate tailpipes. You have the RF model, which is the one that I actually prefer compared with the Roadster, because here in Europe actually you have some bad winter, some bad weather, and of course you like to have an all-rounder Roadster that is actually a coupe in the winter, and actually an all-rounder. The car is beautiful, the color is beautiful, everything it's nice with this generation of MX-5. And when we are talking about the generation 2025, this ND3 Gen 9, it's one of the most composed MX-5. First of all, the road handling is beautiful. Actually, I drove this car 150-160 kilometers an hour on the private roads, of course, not on highway, and the suspension is much more improved compared with the ND1. The engine, it's enough. I think it's enough. It has an 0-100 in 8.6 seconds and a Vmax of 203 kilometers an hour. The ground clearance is 125 millimeters, and of course the same length as usual, 3 meter 950 length, the width 1735, and the height 1230 millimeters. Of course, we have an turning circle, beautiful 10.4 meters, which means that this car actually could be a daily driver in the most congested cities without any problem. So if you want a normal car, you definitely, and if you want to drive a car with a sporty feeling, definitely you should have this Mazda MX-5 RF, or even the normal version, the Cabriolet with the soft top. But that's a version for the hardcore owners. So if you are an MX-5 guy, you definitely know the difference between the RF and the Cabrio. But if you are a beginner, and today we are talking about this car like a daily driver, the price tag it's below 30,000 euros on this market, with the incentive and the discount from the Ariane Motor Rădăcini dealership. This car has a price tag around 29,600 euros entry level. If you want an RF, you definitely should pay more money, because the hardtop it's more expensive. If you want to have a new color, of course you have to pay more. and that's about it. On US market, as I told you, you could have also the older engine 2.0 and also an automatic gearbox. Okay, let's open the hood and talk about this engine. Okay, way up on the bonnet, and underneath you'll see the older 1.5 Skyactiv-G, but this one is tuned for the 2025 model year on European market. It's called P5, an engine that it's also normally aspirated, 1.5 liter, normally aspirated, 132 horsepower, and of course 152 Newton meters, around 5,500 RPM. The battery, it's a small one, it's a 50 amp Japanese battery. The intake, it's decent, it's plastic, everything it's okay. You have a new ECU compared with the previous generation. That's important. The windshield wiper tank, it's bigger from my point of view, which is better because this car actually stays low on the highway, and a lot of debris somehow damage your windshield, so you definitely have to have that bigger tank. The engine, it's quite nice. Below 3000 RPM, it's normal. You could drive it like a Mazda MX-2. I think that like a Mazda 2, sorry. I think that this engine, the P5, it's an engine that it's not a 2.0, but it's almost 2.0-ish, like the feeling 0-100 and the sounds. The exhaust is the same of the previous generation, so even though you have only 1.5 liter and 132 horsepower, and of course an OPF, auto particle filter, compared with the previous generation launched in 2014, this car actually behaves quite nice. It looks good, it behaves nice, and it drives beautifully. Compared with other roadsters, this is the car, this is the bomb from my point of view. If you want a normal, if you want unnormal car, but below 30,000 euros, go please make a test drive with this new generation of MX-5. If you want some exquisite, some special car compared with all these bull electric vehicles that actually have no feelings, no nonsense. They are only like a friend of mine told me that Tesla is like elevators, on, off, and that's it. This is not an elevator, this is a roller coaster, even if it has only 132 horsepower. I drove it over 600 kilometers and it's beautiful. Every review with an MX-5 makes me even closer to buying this car on second-hand market with no problem. So the engine, it's okay. Believe me, it's not a problem for you, for everybody else. If you drive it normally in city driving, you will have an 9 or 7 between 9 or 10 liters per 100 kilometers in city driving in the most congested city in southeast of Europe, which is Bucharest. And if you drive it with 140-150 kilometers an hour on the highway, you will have a 7 liter per 100 kilometers. So only with 45 liter fuel tank, you could drive it for 500 kilometers on the highway with no problem. 500 with no problem. Okay, let's go inside and talk about the space, the build quality, and the things that make this RF a special one. So before we are going inside, we have to show you the tank. You could the boot, you could open it like this. So it has a very small boot, around 120 liters, but it's enough. That's in some bags of my girlfriend. The opening of the boot is like very low cost, Swedish like sound, but the intake is decent, and the closing of course the same. So that's a very big problem on all MX-5s. The third stop light is there. You have to put gas here, which is this is iron. This is metal. This is not a plastic, so very good. So it's a very decent solution. If you go for the RF, you also will have an open the deflector here, and of course you could drive it with the side glass side windows up. Of course you have a bigger windshield, bigger side mirror, sorry, compared with the ND. You don't have an LSD on the back, so that's a very big problem. You have an open diff. You don't have fog lights, but in the back you will have the new stop lights with LED, which are quite nice in the night. They look even better compared with the previous generation. Okay, let's go inside and so you see the differences. When you open the door, we are inside. You have the color of the chassis here, some leather here, and let's start the engine. The fuel consumption in the last 263 kilometers, you could see it's 7.9. Let me show you. In the we have a range of 200 kilometers now, 200 kilometers with half a tank, and of course in the last 451, 7.9 liter per 100 kilometers. You have the new multimedia system that it's actually connected with the phone. You have an Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, and you have the magic button that it's actually let me show you. Let's put the RF on the to work. You have 3-piece hardtop, 2 metal, one glass, and that's it. And actually the car is telling you it's okay, now it's closed. So the handbrake is still big, and of course the manual shifter is mated directly to the gearbox. You don't have any linkage. So when you accelerate it, every vibration it's actually translated to this gear lever. You have the Mazda, the former Mazda 2 air conditioning, climate controls. Actually, the whole dash is it was mounted on the Mazda 2, the former generation, because now Mazda 2 is made by Toyota. It's called Mazda 2 Hybrid. This is the older generation. It's called Mazda 2, and that's it too, or Mazda 2 as on other countries. You have the air intakes are the same, which are quite good quality. This 8.8 inch. It's borrowed from Mazda CX-30 or Mazda 3, which is enough from my point of view, because if you put it a bigger one, you will see it will rise below the hood, and it could be a very big problem from my point of view. So this layout with horizontal LCD, it's enough for this car. It's enough. Definitely you have the system. It's borrowed from Mazda CX-5 with this being an LCD, and of course the RPM meter with 7,000 RPM. This new 1.5 Skyactiv-G 132 has a reach of only 7,000 RPM. The former 2.0 was 7,500. You have of course the ESP, normal ESP and ESP racing. Of course you'll have this to shut somehow all the noises, and of course you have the temp, racing temp. This is the normal temp. If you push this one, you have another temp, so it's another temp. I think it's the gearbox, the temperature, I think, or that's the engine. The gear lever, it's one of the best. This gearbox is one of the best gearbox on the market. You have the control of the multimedia from the former generation of Mazda CX-5. You have 2 USB-C there. You don't have USB normal and USB, so it could be a big problem. And SD card like any other Mazda, and a lot of good materials. This is bad, but this is good. You have a lot of materials here, good materials compared with an ND. The handbrake is still like a sword here, which is quite normal. And of course you have the glove box is there. You'll see this plastic. This is not glass, this is plastic, which is quite good. And the 3-piece hardtop, 1, 2, and that the metal one there. The soundproofing, it's more improved compared with the ND1 from my point of view. The suspension, as I told you, it's much more composed. Everything rules. Everything on this car actually it's better compared with the ND1 and ND2 besides the engine. But if you still want a normal roadster with a lot of good feelings, good vibes, and a cabrio, small cabrio, or a daily driver, a car actually that you could drive it in city driving every day without concerns about the fuel consumption and about the length of the car. This Mazda MX-5 RF, it's top of the line from my point of view. You have good bigger mirrors, everything it's okay. You have to get used to that with this length, but after, I don't know, after 5 or 10 kilometers, everything will be fine from my point of view. So if you liked what Mazda is actually offering in 2025, go at our local dealership Mazda MX-5 and ask them to make a test drive with this car. If I was put to choose, I will definitely choose the RF, but that's a subjective, this is my personal opinion. A lot of guys would choose of course a version, a Cabrio version, which is more funky, more lovely, because it has a soft top. But I will use this car, I will use this car on daily driver without any problem. So if you are living in southeast of Europe or east of Europe, go to Mazda dealership Arian for Rădăcini Motors. They are located in Bucharest, and actually if you are here, you could make a review of this car at their dealership in north of Bucharest. This car is beautiful, it's magical. This is MX-5 RF 2025 ND3, one of the best, if not the best roadster on European car market in 2025. Thank you. And if you like what we are saying here, what we are talking about cars, please like and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.